Hello, Nancy. It's Artie, your home inspector. I'm going to take you through the report, and I'm going to go over the general summary here. And I'll have this finished off and sent out to both yourself and Andy late this evening, about 9:30 Arizona time. I'm going to tell you what I inspected on the vehicle or the house here. Structural components, exterior, roofing, plumbing, electrical system, HVAC unit, interiors, insulation, ventilation, built-in kitchen appliances, and I send two summaries. If you click here on the main report, this will take you to the bottom of the report, and this will have all my recommendations and findings. And I laid everything out just like the table of contents, so I grouped everything together for you. Then up here you're going to have a second general summary. It's the same summary, and here I just removed all the photos and gave you a nice clean condensed list form. So you got two summaries, one on the main report with the photos and the verbiage, then the second standalone general summary, nice clean list form. All right, so we're going to go to the summary with the photos here, and I'll go through all the recommendations. Okay, this is the garage floor. You've got a few cracks in that garage floor. Nothing as far as elevation change. There's no elevation change. Pretty common to have a house this age. You have some cracks in the floor. And right here I put the red lines. This represents where the cracks are. I put down I recommend they get repaired. Not a big deal here. It's just cosmetic. Okay, here's your main electrical panel. As you're facing the house, it's going to be on the exterior wall on the left side. And in between the meter box and your main panel here, when they went to stucco the house, they never stuccoed inside that gap. So I recommend just putting maybe either a silicone or spray foam in between there, just to seal that small section of wall there, keep any potential rainwater from getting inside there. Okay, windows, we've got a couple window issues. The guest bedroom, the secondary lock, the handle is broken here, so it's difficult excuse me, to lift up that lock and slide it out of the way, so it just needs a new handle installed. And on that same guest bedroom, the upper right window, right where that red box is here, that window needs to be reglazed. If you look at it from the inside, and you can also see it from the outside, there's moisture in between the dual panes, so that just needs to be reglazed. Pretty easy for a window guy to do that. Okay, the outside of the house, the drainage is in good shape. You do have some typical planter boxes. There's a total of 5 of them. You can see where these arrows are. There's no water escape in these areas here. It wasn't real common back in the late 70s. Actually through the 90s to put drains in these areas. I'd recommend maybe just filling them with concrete or pavers and just eliminate the dirt altogether. That way if you hose off that patio or we get rainwater, the water will go away from the structure, and it'll eventually work its way down the front yard here. Garage, same thing, you got 2 small areas in front of the garage. Recommend the same remedy there as well. The backyard on the south side, you've got your neighbor's tree. It looks like over the years the roots have raised up that foundation down here, so you've got some evidence of movement in some of these blocks. Still structurally you're okay, and this can certainly be repaired and painted over. The sliding screen in the master bedroom just needs to be either serviced or some new wheels put on it. It rolls fine until it's about 4 inches from closing. Then it gets pretty difficult there. So a little maintenance required. Roof overall, you're in good shape. You've got a flat roof here. It's a polyurethane type roof. And you've got some common issues here. These are mainly over the garage. These little bubbles you're seeing here, these are called blisters. And what they do here, the roofer will go in there, he'll cut these blisters out and just do a repair on it. If you don't do that over time, especially in the heat of the summer, these will just expand and eventually pop like a balloon. Then you can get moisture underneath that sealant. So we want to get these just all cut out and repaired. Then you're good. You don't have to worry about anything. Other than that, you can see the roof still has a sheen to it. So as far as recoating the entire roof, you're good for probably another 2-3 years. Okay, here you've got some water stains in the hot water heater closet. You've got one on the ceiling, a couple on the wall there. And in the master bedroom, you've got a light stain on that ceiling. These all appear to be just previous roof leaks. The roof's in really good shape up there. So it looks like they just never came inside and did the primed over those stains and repainted. The guest bathroom tub valve, when you turn it on, it leaks from the back of that handle. That's that cartridge valve in a wall. It's about $40 to $50 part. Needs to be changed out. It's just bypassing a little bit of water. When you shut the valve off, it does seal up 100%. Hose bibs, we like to see those $4 anti-siphon devices on them. That will prevent water from going backwards through a garden hose and possibly contaminating the city water supply. Pretty typical item. You do have a quarter turn ball valve at the front of the house by the exterior wall. It works fine. If you came home from the grocery store and you had water on the floor from, I'll say, a hot water heater or one of your kitchen appliances, etc., this would be your shut-off valve for the whole property. Just raise that up and that'll shut the water off. Electrical panel overall is in good shape. You've got the 150 amp service, plenty big enough for the square footage. You've got about 10 extra breakers if you plan on adding anything in the future. A couple of breakers just need to be re-identified so you can actually read what they are. They've kind of worn off over the years, and the bottom right breaker just wasn't labeled. One of the 4 screws is missing that holds its dead front cover onto the panel. Not a big deal since you've got 3 other screws there, but we always like to see a screw in all those holes there securing that cover. Okay, you don't have any solid aluminum wiring on the 15 or 20 amp circuits. That's all your outlets and receptacles. But you do have some solid wiring on the clothes dryer and the hot water heater circuit. And both of these are the 220 volt circuits. So I'd recommend a general service on those aluminum wires there. Other than that, you're in good shape. Okay, in this age of home, since we're a 79, it wasn't required to have GFCI protection in the kitchen. So we like to see GFCI protection within 6 foot of that sink just for safety. And that's just a recommendation. It's a pretty easy fix there. They'll take the correct outlet out and replace it with a GFCI. And if they take the correct one out, that will protect everything downhill. Okay, on this age of home, all the exterior and garage outlets should be GFCI protected. And these are not. There's only one on the outside by the master bedroom that's protected. The rest of them, I recommend GFCI protection. I'm guessing they probably took the GFCI outlet out of the garage at one time and replaced it with a standard outlet. Normally all the exterior and garage outlets would reset in the garage. So electrician would have to come over, or a handyman, diagnose that and just bring that up to code when the house was built. Only thing required as far as a smoke detector was one in the bedroom hallway. And you do have excuse me, you do have one, but it's only battery operated. And I loosened this cover here, and you do have the wires here. This should be a hardwired detector, just in case that battery goes bad. If you have the correct detector there, they'll still operate. So I'd recommend taking that detector, maybe moving it into a bedroom, and just getting the correct detector there to meet code when the house was built. Easy fix here, a little outlet cover missing. This is in the cabinet above the microwave. You've got 2 security lights. Both of them are damaged, and the one over the garage has been disconnected. So if you want a security light, I'd recommend they get replaced. All your porch lights do operate, so these would just be on top of your existing fixtures you already have. This is pretty common for the age. I normally see a couple areas of exposed wiring. This is on one of your north patio post here. You can see where you've got exposed wiring here. What they did is in that tooled joint in the concrete behind this post, they just went from the house into that joint, come up through the column and added just an extra outlet there. So I'd recommend, you do have another outlet within about 8 or 10 foot of this one. I'd recommend just removing this altogether. You really don't need it. And in the master closet, they added or moved a light fixture at one time. So you've got some exposed wiring on the ceiling there. I'd recommend either putting it behind the drywall or just covering that with some kind of a conduit. That's a light that's we were talking about over the garage, that security light. It's been disconnected on the inside, so it's no longer in use. But you do have these coach lights and they work fine. Your air conditioned unit's a Carrier brand. That's one of my favorite. It's a 2005 model, so 16 years old. These are good on a home inspector standpoint for about 15 to 20 years if they've been properly serviced. Most of your HVAC companies will tell you they're good for 10 years because that's when the warranty ends on them. You do have a 4-ton. That's good to 2,000 square foot, so it's plenty big enough. And this does take the newer 410 Freon, and I put that in the report for you. So if you do have an issue where they've got to add Freon, it's a relatively inexpensive compared to the older R22 Freon, which they don't make anymore. This house at one time had a vat cooler, and it's been removed, but they never took the thermostat off the wall. So I'd recommend just removing that thermostat since it's no longer needed. In the garage, you've got one drywall tape joint starting to come loose, just cosmetic. Drywall company can come in, do a repair on that, repaint. Master bedroom, since the house was built, you can kind of see these darker lines. That ceiling's not perfectly flat. If I didn't tell you, you'd probably never notice it. But that was, since the house was built, it's just cosmetic there. Overall, the flooring's in good shape. Carpet has got some minor stains on it. And there's only one damaged tile I could find in the master bathroom. The guest bathroom shower, at one time looks like maybe that shower head was leaking and sprayed a little bit of wall up here. So we've got some of the drywall texture damage. Just needs to be repaired and painted to match. Shower head no longer leaks, it's working fine. Okay, the guest bedroom windows, a little bit of drywall damage on the window sills here, just cosmetic. These arrows indicate where the damage is. Minor repair, this is in between the dining room and the family room on this drywall right here. Don't see any water damage, but I did put in there, just ask the seller for clarification there. The garage fire door on the 79 model, this should have a self-closing ceiling and latching door. So at one time the hinge has been removed to the standard hinges, and that door is not the original door. Back in the 70s they had a solid wood door. This is now a metal skin door, which is fine, but it doesn't have a fire rating on it. So I'd recommend replacing that with a fire rated assembly to meet code for when the house was built in 79. The air duct just above the microwave in a cabinet, it's not leaking, surprisingly, but the tape joints here are in bad shape. Just needs to be re-taped there. Guest bathroom vent fan makes a little bit of noise. Probably need to be changed down the road. The closed dryer vent on this age of home, if the seller doesn't have a receipt from servicing the closed dryer vent, recommend that gets cleaned out just to eliminate any of the lint buildup. This is real common. We see this just about every house. Behind the range, there's no anti-tip device. Out here, not a big deal, but if a child would stand or sit on that oven door, that range could tilt forward. The bracket costs about $35, pretty easy to install. Microwave does work, but it's starting to make a little bit of noise, and I put down it is a 2002 model, so it's an older unit there. No termite activity, and that's it.